All rise. The gavel is struck, and for a limited time, the Classic Metal Show is unleashing a rare collection of Judge Aiken merchandise. If you stand with the bold rulings of your favorite metal judge, now is your chance to show it off. From water bottles to t-shirts, these exclusive items won't last long. Get to cmsstore.cmspn.com and claim your Judge Aiken gear before the court is out of session. Court is adjourned.
This is Little Ozzy, and you're watching Rockin' Shock.
Hey, what's up, Rock and Shock Nation? Welcome to another edition of the original hard rock, heavy metal, and horror-themed hangout program. I'm your host, Trenton Toman. And again, welcome to the program. Remember to visit us on the web at rockandshockshow.com. Again, that's rockandshockshow.com. And if you're not already a member of the Rock and Shock Nation, I just encourage you guys to do that today. Now, today's program is a very special episode. It's part one of a two-part series with one of my best friends in the world, Alex Stevens. Alex Stevens is an amazing musician. He's a solo artist, a producer, engineer, and he's also the guitarist and vocalist for our band, Martyrs Cry. So this will be his first appearance on the Classic Metal Show Network. Now, before we get into that interview, just want to take a few minutes to remember Jack Russell. After we recorded last week's program, we got the sad news on the passing of legendary rock singer Jack Russell. So I just want to take a moment to remember him. He was part of one of the best concerts that I ever saw. Back in 1989, I went to the Philadelphia Spectrum, and it was Tesla's first time headlining. They had Badlands as the support band, and I think it was Great White and Tesla were kind of like co-headlining the show. But it was truly amazing. And just think about that. You know, you got Jake E. Lee with Badlands opening. Those guys just killed it. And then you had Great White. And Jack Russell's voice. Truly a legend. He really is. So I want to take this time to remember him. And I actually found a live video from 1989. This was actually filmed in Toronto, but it's the tour that I just told you about. And this song is the Angel song. So check it out. All right, Rock and Shock Nation. I have to say, I am so excited tonight because I have one of my best friends in the world. He's back from Greece. I have with me tonight Alex Stevens, who I have to say is one of the best musicians that I've ever met. He's even a better person. He's a sound engineer. He does everything, and he actually recorded Martyrs Cry, our first EP. He's also done an amazing album called The Path with Ripper Owens, Mark Bowles, members of Symphony X. So, Alex, welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, man, it's awesome to be here, dude.
I always say, whenever you and I talk, I hate the phone, number one. But when you and I talk, dude, we talk about so many different issues, and we're on the phone for like an hour. And I always say, I wish I just had like us videotaped because it was such an intriguing show. I mean, we've talked about so many different things, dude. And what's cool about you is we share similar interests. So that's why I really feel like there's a chemistry with you. And that's why with Martyrs Cry, I believe we're doing something that's pretty amazing. And I'm excited to announce tonight, now that Alex is back, we are going to complete our first album for Martyrs Cry, which we're hoping to have out sometime in the fall. And then we're going to be touring it. So, dude, I'm so happy about that, man. I really am.
Oh yeah, dude, it's gonna be rocking, man. I mean, this EP, the first EP we released, it's a banger, dude. It's freaking rocking.
No, it is, and we had Roddy Monroe doing vocals. But what's great about Martyrs Cry is we are a three-piece. You're actually the vocalist and guitar player for the band, and I'm excited to get these new tunes out to everyone. But before we go there, why don't you just tell us a little bit about The Path for people who haven't heard it yet? It's an amazing album. You have to get it. But tell us a little bit about The Path.
Well, dude, I appreciate the kind words about it, man. Yeah, it's album I started at the end of 2020, and I've always wanted to do a killer symphonic metal album, and I've always wanted to, never had the budget to, never had, the stars weren't aligned yet. And so at the end of 2020, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start writing a record. I didn't know what I was going to do. I just started writing. And things just kept falling into place. I was first, of course. It's like, well, I got guitar parts. I need a drummer, right? So funny story, man. When I was 15 years old, I met Patrick Johansson, who was playing for Yngwie at the time. We kept in touch for a few years after we met. And then just life, you just don't talk or whatever. And I remember when I was needing a drummer, I was like, I wonder what Patrick's up to. And found his website, sent an email, didn't say who I was, didn't say, hey man, you remember me? Nothing. It has been many years. And I just said, my name's Alex Stevens, whatever. I need some drum tracks. Are you interested? And he goes, oh man, how's everything been going? He said, give me a call. And I go, huh? That sounds like someone I've been talking to for a while. And, right. So it's kind of, I was like, okay, cool. And I called him on the phone and he just talked to me like we just talked yesterday. He goes, man, it's been forever. How's everything going? I go, dude, you remember me, man? He's like, of course I remember you. I remember the night at the Yngwie show. Your mom and your friend were there and I, brought you all your play, like remembered the whole thing. I was like, oh my God, it's like, it's been, probably the last time I talked to him, at least their email was probably when I was 17 or 18 years old. Then I was 30 years old by the next time I talked to him, and he remembered who I was the whole night. Unbelievable. And so, of course, he played the drums on it. Then it was like, well, we got a drummer, not need a bass player. And then so things happened. I ended up meeting Mike LaPon, who's one of the best bass players in the world and a part of one of my favorite bands since I was 17 years old, Symphony X. Met him at a gig I was playing with my buddy Rhino and Angels of Babylon, and was like, dude, you want to play bass on my record? I just asked him. I was like, hey, and he said, yeah. So it was cool. And just things kept lining up, and got a couple guest guitar players. Ended up getting Joel Hoekstra from Whitesnake on a song, and on the same song, Michael Romeo from Symphony X played on one of the songs, which I don't even know how that happened, but it happened. It's rare. That was a fluke, I guess, but it's amazing. And then it was like, well, okay, I got these songs and I've got lyrics, but who's going to sing it? And I kept trying to talk to people or whatever, and nothing ever really worked. And I was talking to Patrick one day. He goes, well, just he said, why don't you talk to Ripper? I was like, yeah, really? And he's like, yeah, man, talk to Ripper. I said, do you have his number? He goes, no, you can figure it out. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, okay. It's like, talk to him, but you figure it out. So, and this is the weirdest thing though. When he said that, I went online to find his website. I typed in Tim Ripper Owens, and because I've always loved his singing. I mean, first time I ever heard him was in Iced Earth, and then of course I heard the Judas Priest stuff, and of course he sang for Yngwie. But the weirdest thing was when I went to type in his name on Google to find a website, see if I could find a contact info. There was a Instagram post I saw. It popped up on Google that he had just posted about 6 hours earlier that day and said, if you're needing vocal tracks for a couple songs, I'm doing session work now. Here's my email address. Hit me up. And I was like, well, that sounds like it's meant to be, right? Like, I was like, well, okay. And so I hit him up and we ended up talking on the phone for a little while. And, it was like, he's like, oh, you're friends with Patrick. Cool. Let's do this. Okay. And then I had like the record, I heard certain voices, and I was like, I also hear a different type of voice. And I ended up hitting Mark Bowles, who again sang for Yngwie, and he heard songs like totally in, and they both ended up singing on the record. And so I have this huge record that has, again, it's got Michael Romeo, Mike LaPont, Joel Hoekstra, Tim Ripper Owens, Mark Bowles, Patrick Johansson, my buddy Kenny Rhino Earl played on a song. Huge Bolivetra from Syra played on a song. I mean, it's like a whole list of people. It's insane. It's massive. 7 songs, 48 minutes. The intro track's 11.5 minutes. The second song's 8.5 minutes. It's just big songs. But it turned out beyond what I could believe. And I think, the song the album's called The Path. So the album, every song pertains to everyone is on a path in life. We all have a mission in this world. Everyone's mission is different. Everyone has a different job in this world, but we all have a job. And we got to do that job. We're destined to do a certain thing on this earth. Are you going to do it, though? Even if it's hard, no matter what it is, we have to do it. Whether it's, from anything. It could be belief in yourself for playing music, don't giving up in just music. Or it could be, I wrote songs about historical figures. There's one song I wrote called Hidden Names about an amazing heroic woman named Irina Sendler, who was a Polish social worker. And she single-handedly saved, I think it's 2,500 Jewish children from being exterminated in Auschwitz in a Holocaust. And she snuck children out in briefcases and luggages and toolboxes, whatever she could do to save those children, she did. And she wrote down on little pieces of paper in code the child's name and the family. So after the war, they could be brought back together. But sadly, most of the families perished, but their children were saved because of this one woman. And she was exposed. The SS found out about her, and she was supposed to die, but then someone bribed one of the officers and saved her. And he basically pretended to kill her, and he said, leave. And so it's amazing. She lived, I think, to be 90 something years old, 98 years old. It was something amazing. But, I have stories about that. I have, and just different things. And then, I got some nods to a couple of my favorite movie characters. I got a nod to, Lord of the Rings and The Matrix, like I love those movies. They were playing in the background when I was writing the album, but, even it's something as silly as that, but those guys had missions in the movies, right? There was a specific thing they had to do. and whether it cost them their life or not. So that's like the whole thing is we all have something to do in this life, and don't waste your time. Do what you have to do. And that's the whole thing about the album.
That's amazing. I think that's why you and I, like, we just connect, because the things that we've written about, it's so much bigger than ourselves. And not saying that we're so important that our music has to get out there, but the music really speaks to people on a personal level. And that's what I love about it. And, the stuff that we've done together with Martyrs Cry, same deal. We're putting out music that's meant to, touch people. And, we know that music is subjective anyway, so it's going to speak to people differently. But when I listen to your tunes, man, it kind of like challenges you. You take a look in the mirror and you're saying, am I doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing? And, I was just listening to The Path the other day because, I have a calling that's all my life, and it sounds kind of weird. But, I believe we're going to use this music to reach people that are looking for hope. I feel like this nation and really what's going on around the world, people are losing hope every single day, man. They're looking for, ways just to get money to buy food and pay for their rent and their mortgage. And these songs are really inspirational. They're songs that kind of challenge us, but also let you know, man, there's a path to hope as well. And that's what I really dig about what you're doing, dude. It really speaks volumes.
I appreciate it, man. And yeah, I totally believe that. It's, this, like, the lyric in the title track of the album is, it's easy to fall down and harder to get up, but there's no other way. You got to get on the path. No matter how bleak it seems, there's always hope. There's always hope there, and life is what you make it, right? You can't sit around and just think about the doom and gloom. It's, there's always been throughout history ups and downs, and that's life. And, right now it seems pretty dang low. But that only means that the hope can be even greater, right? So I believe that anything's possible in life, no matter if it's a personal thing, if it has to do with our country, if it has to do with anything, with the world. I believe there's always hope, no matter what the bleakest situation looks like, because, it's also, if you remember that there's always, there's a greater good going on that we don't see. There's someone that's more in control than what we can do, right? So all these events that seem to be so dark and depressing and all these things, we may not understand, but there is a reason for all of it, and we will see something great come out from all this, I believe.
Great, man. We're all being called to be that light in the darkness. And it's funny, man, because I wrote notes for today's show, and I knew it once again with you. We're doing something totally different than we initially planned for. And I think this is so important, though, because I really want the audience to understand that, again, we're not trying to make this about us or that we're so important. But I really think what the music is and what we're called to do with going out and sharing this music is really to, again, we're challenging people to be that light in the darkness in your communities. The only way that we're going to defeat this is if we take it one step at a time. We look at our families, we build our communities, and that's how we're going to make a difference, because we can't listen to what the media is saying. No politician is going to fix the problem, because the problem in this nation and around the world is a spiritual problem, which you alluded to. It's so much bigger than us. And it's funny, dude. It's like the notes are out the window now with you.
Exactly, man. But yeah, I totally agree with that. You think any politician or someone that's trying to sell you something that's really looking out for you, they're not. And so if you don't believe in something that's bigger than all of us, and you're just believing in some suit in Washington or in any country you're in, then you're going to be sadly let down. So,
no, you're right. And, the divisive rhetoric that's being put out there makes it look like, I'm supposed to hate you because you're this, and you're supposed to hate me because I'm, and we're more similar than people will think. You know, we share more similarities than differences, and they just want to keep us divided. But I believe what we're going to be doing collectively, getting out there. And it's funny, I spoke to Patrick a few weeks ago when you were in Greece, and we're going to do something with his band, his original band, Kindred. His guitarist is the one that recorded the drum tracks that I sent to you. And it's almost like this family's just coming together. And then we spoke to our good friend Chips Enough, and he's like, dude, we got to do something together. So I really believe we're going to have this like little tour that goes out there, hitting these different towns and cities, and really sharing hope, having a good time, meeting one another, and just encouraging one another. Continue the work. Don't give up. No matter how dark it gets, we're going to overcome this together. So anyway, that's just what I felt, man.
Exactly, man. I believe the same thing. So, of course.
All right, Rock and Shock Nation, that concludes another episode of this Hangout program with Alex Stevens. Next week, we're going to have part 2 of the interview. And remember, stay metal, stay horror, and I'll see you soon. One more thing, I want to share this today. This is a special product. We're going to be offering more of this type of stuff on our website. This is pretty cool. This is the Universal Monsters Runner. And I have one where I'm going to display all my, my figures, all my horror stuff on it. You can use this for Halloween, or like me, you can use this year-round. It helps to support this program and also our outreach, Lost Sheep Farm. So check that out. If you're interested, you can purchase that on the web. Again, that's rockandshockshow.com, and you'll find that under merch.
This concludes our broadcast day.
Attention metalheads! Want to rep the classic metal show everywhere you go? Head to the CMS store and grab some killer swag. Whether it's coffee cups, t-shirts, wall art, or even phone cases, we've got you covered with all things CMS, featuring our iconic logo and badass mascot Rex. Don't miss out. Visit cmsstore.cmspn.com today. Support the show, show off your style, and rock on with the classic metal show.